Thank you. Hello, my name is Na'ama. You have all seen that horrifying video of me on that darkest day. On October 7th, 2023, at the age of 19, I was kidnapped, violently dragged from a black Jeep, wounded, terrified, bleeding, and helpless, paraded in front of a hateful, raging mob with the terrifying sounds of gunfire and cheering all around me. That was only the first day in hell, the first of 477 long, excruciating days. Days that turned to months, months that became more than a year. Periods with no food or water. I suffered severe malnutrition, indescribable hunger, and many untreated injuries. I was kept in unbearable sanitary conditions with the constant fear that each moment could be my last. 477 days where every minute feels like eternity. My time being held hostage remained carved into my body and soul for the rest of my life. I was moved from one hiding place to another. There were periods of time where I was completely alone, secluded from any human interaction. In other instances, I was with other young women, some of which were wounded severely and left untreated. One of the most frightening memories was when I was forced to run from house to house with my two captors. Terrified and under fire, I could hear the gunshots and bullets whistling past my ears. I ran as fast as I could, struggling to breathe, while my captors reloaded their weapons. I was held for days in that same makeshift hiding place with them. I had almost no food, barely any water, and no access to a toilet. At night, my captors would gear up, putting on their vests, filled with grenades and ammunition, holding their guns close. I could barely breathe, and I was terribly weak. I was terrified for my life every single moment. Being hidden above ground was horrid, but there's nothing that can compare to the darkness and dread that the tunnels bring with them. The same tunnels where far too many innocent people are still being held at this very moment. I want you to all stop for a moment and imagine being forced into a dark, deep tunnel underground. The air is empty of oxygen. It feels impossible to take a deep breath, and each time you try to, you choke from the lack of air. You're led to a mattress soaked with humidity. The smell of mold is everywhere, and it seeps deep into your lungs. That was what it felt being brought into the tunnels for the first time, the first of many time and countless days. As I stand here before you, there are hostages for whom this nightmare has not ended. Some of them I saw with my own eyes while I was in this hell. Their faces don't leave me. Their voices are silenced. The world only sees fragments of their suffering in horrifying videos. So I'm here to be their voice. 8 months have passed since I was freed from that hell, but knowing that right now, every moment of each new day I experience, there are still so many people like me, like you, who are barely surviving through this torture is unbearable. Sons, fathers, brothers, and a daughter that must be saved. Families and friends waiting for their loved ones and fighting to end this agony for them. Just like you would fight if this unimaginable would have happened to one of your loved ones. That is why I'm here today, sharing my story with you. I'm here to cry out for them from the depths of hell where they cannot be heard. The voices of young, beautiful people for whom there is still hope, the hope to bring them back to freedom and to the life they so deeply deserve after 2 long, excruciating years of torment, a freedom their families deserve as well. I was released after 477 days, thanks to an agreement reached through negotiations. The hardest times mentally during my captivity were the periods where there was no news at all about negotiations. When you realize everything is stuck, hope starts to fade away, and all you can do is pray and try to hold on to your sanity, waiting for the talks to begin again and for freedom to feel possible once more. You, each of you here today, are individuals whose life are dedicated to diplomacy, for free will and fighting solutions. I implore you, there is no greater crisis to work towards ending this unbearable situation for the hostages. Diplomacy and an agreement brought me back. That same diplomacy must bring back all the people who can still be saved. The living for rehabilitation and the deceased for dignified burial. It is in your hands to shape the world we live in and the world we leave for my generations and the generations to come. So please act. Find a solution immediately. Save these innocent lives, for when you do, it is as if you have saved the entire world. Bring them all home, now.